Hello.
Itadakimasu.
So we're done.
We finally completed it after so long.
Yeah. Sorry. That's what happens when you start things before the holiday season. But we're finally finished with the series. 21 through 26 is complete. So let's talk about the shit. Starting with the first episode, which was actually the second part of an episode that we ended with.
Our bridge hanger.
Exactly. Not cliffhanger. Ha ha ha.
Let's see what I did there.
No. Only because I'm not looking at you.
I said.
Shut up. So, yeah, they, Jin and the blind chick.
Sarah.
That's the one. They duke it out on the bridge. Jin's about to lose. And it cuts the ropes of the bridge. Yeah. And, they both fall into the river. She gets found the next day. Jin does not, though he gets saved by another guy. But Jin is so badly injured that he can't fight her. When Mugen and Fu find out that they've both fallen into the river, Mugen finds her like guitar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he finds the guitar thing, and that's kind of the point where he's like, I know what happened here. So he goes, gives it back, and then she's like, okay, let's meet by the river.
It's like, you know what's up.
Yeah. So they meet down there. They fight. Mugen loses. And then...
Before she's about to do the finishing blow, Fu jumps on top of him and says, don't kill him.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know how that goes.
Yeah. So she leaves. And then she's going to just... I'm guessing she's just going to basically walk away from the whole endeavor. And then they're like, yeah, remember that we have your kid. So... you kind of have to kill them.
Finish it by tomorrow, or,
yeah,
you know.
Exactly. And at that point, she basically realizes that they didn't have her kid to begin with. Her kid's been dead for a long, long, long time, and they've just been egging her on just so that she would help them. So she and Mugen fight again, but this time she takes a dive and lets him kill her, just to, I guess, be rid of the whole thing.
She just wants to be done. I think when she realizes that her son is dead, she really doesn't have a point
Exactly,
anymore,
because
so.
that's really the only reason she was doing it in the first place. So she lost all reason. So
that was the end of that one. She dies. Everything's just kind of over with that whole side of the story. And so we move on. So episode 22, really kind of random and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Fucking zombie island digging site.
Yeah, what
weird.
the hell?
I don't even know.
Literally from beginning to end, it made no sense.
There were so many points in this episode where it's like, wait a minute, you're not questioning. Like, so they fall down a hole in the beginning of it, and they find two people who are cold as corpses, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And so they freak Fu out, and so Mugen and Jin attack, of course, and Mugen ends up cutting off one of their arms.
Yeah.
Now, normally in this series, that happens. Blood spray fucking everywhere. And so this guy's arm gets cut off and nothing happens. Kind of falls.
And he just runs off without his arm. And then they follow them and Mugen just throws him his arm back.
And the guy's like, God, be more fucking careful next time. Jesus.
That's just okay.
What?
What?
So the episode progresses and then you meet the main person, fucking weirdo of the episode.
Yeah.
And he is this descendant of some crazy family that controls the stars. I don't know.
I don't get it.
Whatever. It's a weird episode. And so the episode goes on and they get egged on into helping them dig for food and money and because they're broke.
Yeah, or whatever.
And so they end up eating nothing but wasabi because apparently
he
it
almost
has
died just now.
a little bit.
That was a lot of Dorito that just came out.
We finished off a big ass bag of Doritos.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. There's a lot of beer and Doritos that goes on, and you almost saw them again. So, yeah.
So they eat wasabi because apparently it has antibacterial and like preservative properties.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story, this weirdo dude is summoning zombies back from the dead to help him dig this site that he thinks holds this buried treasure. They think they've been there for 5 years, but they kind of piece it together, and apparently they've been there for 500 years.
Yeah. And then basically what happens after that is Jin's like, hey, you know how you said that you were a descendant of this person?
Here's your family tree that says you aren't.
Yeah, see right here? Yeah, there's a break. You don't belong to this family at all. So then everybody gets mad, and then all the zombies get mad because they've been digging for this long for nothing. And then he blows up the place with a comet.
Yeah, he's like, and da-dun.
And it just blows up. But everyone's there, but everyone's
okay.
Fine?
Yeah, so theoretically, in the episode, Mugen, Jin, and Fu are at the site. They're literally standing right behind him when this comet hits.
So how did they not... fuck it. Fuck it. Skip the episode.
It's ridiculous. It's so unnecessary in this series.
That
they could have left it out and made it an even 25, but no.
But no, yeah. So the next episode, I mean, granted, even though it was just as useless, was actually at least entertaining, and it was a baseball episode where a bunch of Americans show up
and fucking say shit and fucking kamikaze Jap god fucking America.
Yeah, like wow,
it's really bad.
Really bad. But again, it's the wrong time period. But that's this whole series, so that part doesn't matter because there was an episode with graffiti. So that's not the important thing. The important thing is it comes down to that in order to keep their stuff from the Americans, they have to have a baseball match, and so game.
You play sports?
Yeah, always, all the time. I love golf. Made a touchdown last week. So they play this game of baseball.
That's Tebowing children.
And thank you. Oh, I know. We all know. They play this game of baseball with Mugen on the Japanese team, of course. And
really?
Yeah, they end up wrecking face, and the Japanese win. That's basically it. There's not a lot else to be said except for it's kind of cool to watch.
And
so
this one actually made us drink a lot more than the other ones did because there's a lot of swearing for one.
Yes.
And there's a lot of record scratching in this one again, so that got brought back.
Especially because after the first 2 episodes, we were only half a beer in.
It was ridiculous, and then all of a sudden this one starts and it's like fuck, it's like drink.
Yeah.
Hooray!
It's about time. So that was episode 23.
24, 25, and 26 is a 3-part finale, basically. Yeah. So this is all going to get tied together.
Yeah. So basically what happens is a guy from the Shogunate, basically the guy who was one of the people who was hired, along with Sarah, the blind spear bitch, was like, wow, she got killed by these guys. They must be really good. So you know what? I'm going to go fight them. And then some guy's like... he hasn't fought, I've never seen this guy fight, and they're like, that's because...
Kid, you're too young.
Yeah, that's because if you saw him fight, you'd be dead too. So...
his nickname is the Hands of God.
Hands of God, yeah. So, so that happens, as well as there's these 3 brothers that are after Mugen. So, it comes to this situation where, the guy who was the Hands of God is after Fu's father, and they've been following her throughout this entire series
because they don't know technically where he is, but they know she's looking for him, and she's actually doing kind of a good job finding him. So they're just following her and letting her do all the hard stuff.
Exactly. So so that's happening, and also these 3 brothers are looking for Mugen because they were on the boat that Mugen and the other guy They were on the boat that they ended up plundering a long ass time ago.
We go back a few episodes.
Yeah, and so because of that, they were seeking revenge just because of the fact that they plundered that ship, they got blamed for it, and it was a whole back and forth that ended up
basically it ruined their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want revenge.
Yeah. So with that, you come to where the final basic fights are going to happen. You know that Jin is clearly going to fight the Hands of God because they're both swordsmen, and then Mugen's gonna fight the three because they're all crazy fuck off people. So it starts. The initial fight starts off with Jin and Mugen fighting the Hands of God on a shore because Fu has actually ditched them, which we didn't drink for.
We did not. Well, because the rule is they ditched Fu.
Yeah, so that never happened.
Yeah, that was different.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure it was episode 23 that Moo shows up again.
Oh, God, Moo!
Fucking Moo.
Fucking Moo. No.
Was it?
Was it the baseball? It had to have been the baseball one.
That was 23.
Yeah, because they were at the restaurant and she fucking mooed it up and then he ditched.
Right.
And she fucking knocked him out with the baseball.
Exactly. Yep, that's what happened. Moo. So they're both fighting him. They both get their balls rocked by him. And then
the youngest brother of the three shows up on a roof and says, "Hey, we have your girlfriend. Come get her."
Yeah.
Basically. And so Jin's like, "All right, fucking go. I'll take care of this shit."
Yeah. And then he's like, "Don't die because I want to kill you." So Mugen bolts. Jin and the other guy end up fighting, and Jin loses. Mugen, while on the boat, gets
he gets attacked by the youngest brother who just can't wait to kill him.
Exactly.
And so they end up tipping the boat over because they're in the middle of a channel thing. Mm-hmm. And so the boat tips, they're fighting underwater, and I think Mugen realizes that this guy's used to close combat, but Mugen really isn't. So this dude has this weird weapon, double blade thing, and then like claws on the other hand. And so he goes to attack with the claws. Mugen grabs it, lets it pierce his hand. Yeah, takes a hit for it, and just fucking stabs him. Done. Yeah. That's it for that one.
Game over. First guy dead. And also, at this point, the Hands of God dude is now on a boat on the way to the island as well to kill Fu's father. So, now Mugen's on land. He's there to go find the two people holding Fu hostage. He gets there, and he's like, "Hey, let her go, and I'll throw my sword down." And they're like, "All right, cool." So he throws his sword to untie her, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" So she bolts, and the guy basically ends up like torturing Mugen. I was gonna say Fugen.
You almost did. You almost said Fugen. I did that once.
Yep, mucking Fugen. So
mucking Fugen.
He ends up torturing Mugen for like the remainder of the episode. So basically, what you know at the end of this episode is that Jin is dead, Mugen is gonna die, and Fu is about to meet her dad.
She's literally standing outside of the shack that he's in.
Exactly. So Fu goes. Last episode starts. Fu ends up going into the shack. Guy is sick and dying. And she's like, the whole time I wanted to come in here and deck you one, but you're fucking dying. So
that's not fair.
Yeah,
you
so
suck.
I don't want to do that. And then she leaves. Mugen ends up getting his sword back because he uses the knife in his sheath to basically break free of the guy with enough time to get his sword so that he can actually start fighting for real.
Jin's still MIA.
Exactly, Jin's still dead. So
as Fu is leaving the shack, she walks outside, and then they notice this figure walking up, which is the Hands of God dude. He's walking up, and he's about ready to kill Saizo, the father. And so he walks up, and they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm from the Shogunate. Get the fuck out of the way." So he goes in the shack, and he tells the guy, like, "I'm here to kill you. You've been wanted for a long time." And the father's like, "I'm kind of already dead, so go for it."
Yeah.
And so he apologizes to Fu for one last time, says, "I've always thought about you and your mother. I'm so sorry, but I can't really ask you to forgive me because it's kind of a dick move." And so the guy ends up killing Saizo. That's it. That's done. Really kind of anticlimactic for the whole searching for the father thing.
Yeah, and he's there for 30 seconds.
Yeah, so he's dead, and then the guy turns around and he's like, "Oh, and I'm also supposed to kill any family members and caretakers." And so they're like, "Fuck."
Oh.
So Fu bolts. And the older dude that was caretaking for him kind of stands in the door, and he knocks him out and goes after Fu. In the meantime, down back on the beach, Mugen is fighting this guy now that he has a sword again.
Right.
And the guy with the scythe thing with the chain.
Yeah, chain scythe.
He ends up like destroying this like wooden building they're in by slicing it to smithereens.
Yeah.
So they're on a beach, and they're fighting it out, and Mugen does some badass shit and fucking wrecks him and ends up decapitating him with his own scythe.
Basically. And so, so now Mugen has one, except for the fact that the guy in the wheelchair, the oldest one, shows up randomly with a gun in his wheelchair and shoots Mugen dead in the back. So you think that now Mugen is going to die. He thinks he has gotten revenge for his two dead brothers now, except for the fact that Mugen's not dead, but the guy also has a wheelchair full of dynamite. Yeah, so he's like, fuck it, I'm going to blow myself up to kill you, and then that'll be great. So, that happens. Also,
before the explosion, though,
yes.
Fu is on top of the cliff, and then the guy confronts her, and he's like, if you're really the daughter of a samurai, die an honorable death, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then, all of a sudden, Jin rolls up. He comes back into the scene. He's, like, all torn up. His hair's down. Looks like the fucking end scene from the Aizen saga of Bleach, for any of you that watched that far.
Yeah.
And so, he's like, yeah, you didn't kill me, but I'm here to kill you.
Yeah. So, they fight. There's this like flashback of this technique that Jin was taught by his master, and he said, please never use this technique, but, take a hit and then stab the dude. So he took a hit, and then he stabbed the dude, and
the dude died.
Exactly. So yeah, Jin got stabbed, Mugen got blown up, and Fu stood there. But both of them were still alive, so everything was fine. And then they tried to fight each other, couldn't do it, and then they were both like, you know what?
They take one swing and their swords shatter. That was it, and they're like, wow, we're a mess.
Yep.
And they collapse, and they're out for a week.
Yeah, exactly. And then they wake up, decide, we really don't want to fight each other, and then they fucking leave.
That was it.
Yeah. Just walked it off. And the way that I feel about the ending of this anime is it felt like it was pushed to be an ending, but an ending that nobody wanted.
Like it literally ended the way it was supposed to
end.
Because in the beginning of shows, people get together because they have a common goal, but when that goal is done, they can just go their own ways and do their own thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Normally, they get together and they're like, oh, we've been together for so long, we've been on this great journey, we're friends, let's kind of stick around.
And it didn't happen, and it's fucking weird. But that's okay. Because that's the end of the anime.
We're done.
We're done with Champloo. So it's time
to the books
for a new one. And the new one that we're going to do, drum roll, is Attack on Titan! Yeah!
Yes!
Fucking Attack on Titan.
This is kind of I don't know if it's a newer anime or not, but it's become recently more popular, I guess. If any of you follow the TFS guys, for TFS Abridged, any other DBZ, the Helsing Abridged stuff, one of them has started doing a fucking Attack on Titan Abridged, and they've done one episode for that. And that's actually the first place that I saw this anime, and I was like, oh, I wonder what this one's about. It kind of looks interesting, I guess.
Right.
So I ended up watching there's only 25 episodes, I think, that are made, and so I watched all 25 online through random websites, and then as soon as I finished, I went on Netflix and realized that they just fucking added it on Netflix, and I was kind of pissed. But that's good news for us, because that means now we get to watch it and we get to drink for it.
Hooray! So, in the next episode, there'll be lots of new rules. I will be posting them on Twitter. You all know where to find me there. So that before we post a new episode, you can watch them, again, episodes 1 through 5 of Attack on Titan.
And this one's an even 25.
Yes.
Even 25.
Thank God. So you'll know the rules, you'll be able to watch it, and then you can comment on it and have fun and enjoy it with us. So until we do that, we're going to see you next time.